Last night at WWE Bad Blood, we saw the return of Bill Goldberg, and he got into an altercation with Gunther. And already a lot of reports coming out that are indicating that Goldberg is going to be moving on to a match with Gunther in the very near future. Ringside News already made a report not that long ago. Dave Meltzer actually talked about the possibility of Goldberg facing Gunther at the Royal Rumble or possibly even WrestleMania itself. And I'm here today to tell you that I am against Goldberg even getting a championship match against Gunther. And hear me out on this. Many WWE rant videos I made in the past indicated my frustration, as well as some of the frustration from some of the fans, that we were tired of these past part timers just returning and getting championship matches like nothing really had happened. He didn't beat anybody to get a championship match. He just gets one because he's Bill Goldberg. The same thing they did with John Cena a few years ago. He showed up, just gets a challenge, gets a championship match with Roman Reigns, didn't beat anybody. And it just seems like this logic is still in WWE to a degree that it was excessively under Vince McMahon when he ran creative, and now it's still somewhat happening with Triple H being a part of creative and being in charge of it. But Goldberg coming back and squashing Gunther after the way that they have built Gunther up, that is something I don't want to see. Goldberg winning another championship, it does nothing. Gunther beating Bill Goldberg and moving on to Sami Zayn, that's the better way to go. But they're going to keep doing this with pretending that these past part-timers are as young as they were years ago. Yeah, Goldberg is going to be what he was in WCW. Cena will be as good as he was 10 years ago. The Rock and, Brock Lesnar, all of them. There's a little thing that people need to remember. These wrestling fans that are for Goldberg actually coming back and getting a championship match with Gunther, people age. They're not going to be what they used to be. In fact, Goldberg, the last several times, if I remember correctly, the guy's matches have been horrible. He could barely keep up with Bobby Lashley. He got hurt in a match with The Undertaker. They had him squash Bray Wyatt, which was a bad call. He gets all this money for just wrestling at Saudi Arabia, while there's other talents that are not even getting utilized the right way still currently. They're not getting championship matches. Are we led to believe that Gunther has no one to work with on Monday Night Raw that's currently a full-time superstar? If they're going to have him face Sami Zayn, maybe have Sami Zayn face him at the Royal Rumble. Or better yet, maybe have somebody else like, say, CM Punk face Gunther. Punk just came off of his victory over Drew McIntyre. Maybe now it's time for Punk to go for that championship and face Gunther, put him over, and then move on to somebody else. There's plenty of other options besides reaching out to somebody that has not wrestled all year round and who has actually come off as a bit ungrateful and bitter, because there was reports coming out that Goldberg felt like WWE owed him a championship match or a retirement match, when in reality, nobody owes Goldberg a fucking thing. Bill Goldberg, he doesn't want to be surpassed. He doesn't want to be forgotten. I get it. And yes, he can work in WWE. That is fine too. But no more championships. The guy cannot win a championship and be expected to defend it and feud with people when he's not even around half the time. That's why they've got to put the kibosh on this. The only way that they're going to make this work is Gunther needs to beat Bill Goldberg. That is what needs to be done. That elevates Gunther to another level as a heel, and then Goldberg would move on and do whatever else. There you go. But until I understand and hear why Goldberg should get a championship and squash Gunther by getting it, I would like for someone to finally explain why that's justified. And don't give me the typical answer, oh, hey, man, he's Bill Goldberg. No, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what has Goldberg done the last year, especially, to get a championship match. Better yet, why couldn't they book him in a number one contender match, and then he would earn a title match, and then he would head on to lose to Gunther? That's another thing that they should be doing, but they're not going to do it. Yeah, just show up and get a freaking title match. This is such bullshit if they do this and take the belt off of Gunther. You don't have to like the guy, but you got to admit, he has been a dominant heel. Maybe not like Roman Reigns was when he was in the bloodline, but he's definitely enjoyable to the point where taking the belt off of him and sabotaging his main event momentum is not justified and it's not needed. And another championship for Goldberg, not going to do anything either. WWE needs to not go back to the era of Vince McMahon, still believing that these old past part-timers are still as good as they once were. They've got to do away with that. If they're going to put him in anything, they got to start elevating younger talents. Otherwise, this is going to be a bad call. There's nothing logical about Bill Goldberg beating Gunther for the championship. Nothing at all. There's no reason why Goldberg should win a championship if he's not around. And while Goldberg has the right to do whatever he wants, and that is true, this is one decision by WWE that if they go with Goldberg squashing him and winning that championship, then it's just going to have the longtime fans say nothing has changed from a Vince McMahon leading creative to Triple H being in charge of creative. It's going to be the same thing. And WWE logic, let's just keep it going. Let's bring back these past part-timers and just pretend they still can wrestle and do all those things they did years ago. And let's just keep treating the fans like they're stupid. Either way, I'm against it. If they had Goldberg put over somebody else that's not a champion in a mid-card match, great. If he loses to Gunther, that's the only way to fix this. But if he beats Gunther, that's a bad decision. But that's just my take on it. You all might disagree. Tell me what you think in the comments section. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I'm out of here.